Show us mercy, help us, please. I keep calling, calling to the sky, searching, searching upon high. I keep calling, calling to the sky. See the light shining.
Hello, and a very warm welcome to my World Predictions podcast. I am your host, Selena Avalon, and we're going to start with my special offer, which is the Easter Treasure Box Psychic Reading. It's the special offer for April, and it's £35 for 8 predictions and automatic writing. The link to book is under this video. Remember, you can subscribe to the Mystery Portal subscription. It is just £5.55 a month. You get readings, mystery readings, horoscopes, exclusive world predictions. And now I'm going to launch on the last Tuesday of every month at 9 p.m. British summertime, my live summit on Substack. So it's a live Q&A summit, psychic summit with me, Selena Avalon, and all the paid subscribers. I've got over 100 now on Substack. You can ask me all your questions on world events, esoteric and spiritual topics, dream analysis, timelines, and much more. So to subscribe, the Mystery Portal link is under this video. So we will start with the predictions that came in over the last 7 days. At number 1, we had, and I made this prediction literally less than a week ago, a dinosaur fossil was found, and this was actually, I predicted a new species of dinosaur would be discovered. It's not been seen before, and I specifically saw that it was the head and beak area, what looked like a beak or nose area that would be found, the fossil of it. And what they found was a baby head of a completely new species of dinosaur, and it's called Camarasaurus. Not Camarasaurus, like a camera, but Camarasaurus. And it wasn't a beak, it didn't have a beak, but it had like a long snout. And it was just the head, the profile of the head and snout, nose area. So this was discovered. I also predicted at number 2, a comet would be seen in the night sky, and I saw it being a green comet. Don't know what color it is yet, but they just announced today that there is a comet that will be flying very close to the sun. They think it's actually going to collide with the sun, our sun, the star of our Milky Way galaxy, and it's actually going to collide this week within the next 7 days with the sun. So they're looking out for that, but it was spotted within the last 24 hours from Earth, because they hadn't actually officially spotted it, but from Earth yet, but they did within the last 24 hours. So this has come in. I think it will collide with the sun, and they will do another report on that. So I'll have to do an update on that. We've got a lot of, about 3 different predictions on the solar system. I don't know what's happening this week. It's a solar system week, universe week. We've had another prediction came in where I predicted a new solar system would be discovered in our galaxy, which is called the Milky Way galaxy. But there's lots of solar systems in the galaxy. We can't see them because they're far away. But there'll be a new one that's discovered. Some of them you can see. And this is a new one. They literally just discovered it. It was in my 2026 predictions. There's actually 2 exoplanets orbiting a star, and it's like the birth of it, the birth of a new solar system they've discovered. So that came in. I've also predicted, now this is a quite tricky one, so just listen carefully. This was in my 2026 predictions. I predicted that there would be a new discovery about how gravity affects the direction of light, and moves it in a curve. It makes it form in a special curve that has never been discovered before. And this was a discovery very recently, that they found gravity to affect directional light. So if you want all the news articles, you can go to the YouTube shorts, or you can go to, I will upload them soon, or you can go to my TikTok, Instagram, or Facebook. The original prediction and all the news articles are all on there to read, and you can then Google it and read for yourself online. Now, we've also had a prediction coming in where I predicted chemical attacks or something to do with chemical warfare. Now, it's interesting because I did predict the synagogue in London, that I got a synagogue in London would have a terrorist attack, and it did it was in March, a week or so ago. And they actually were saying in the synagogue, they were saying that they are fearing that they're going to have chemical terror attacks put on them, so that they're preparing. They're telling all the synagogues in the United Kingdom, prepare for chemical attacks. So when I made my predictions for this, specifically these predictions were for the consequences of the Iran war, Iran-US war, Israel-Iran, I don't know what you call it, the Gulf War. So many countries involved at the moment. And one of the predictions was chemical warfare on the war, in the war zone and out of the war zone. Chemical warfare, that's what I saw, chemical attacks. Now, it hasn't happened yet, but they're putting warnings, so we'll wait and see what happens. So I put this one in there. We've also had the prediction I made on floods in India and Pakistan. I saw floods and mudslides and big storms in India and Pakistan for the month of March. This has come in. I think quite a few people have died from it. It was also in Afghanistan as well. So that came in, that was a natural disaster. So some new predictions for you. Now, just to clarify about the budget and tax hikes I saw, I'm actually seeing this happening in November's budget. But what's happening at the moment is I'm seeing them, it's for the UK government, I'm seeing them thinking about doing it now. It's like there's planning now. But it's actually, when I tune in, it's the end of the year. It's November budget that this will happen. Tax hikes. I'm seeing at the end of the year, between the months of, I would say, the end of autumn, early winter, I'm seeing property and stock market crash. I'm also seeing around November to January next year, around the turn of the year, this year, November, flu epidemic, bird flu, and possibly just normal flu or coronavirus strain epidemic. So like really big flare up, bigger than last year. And this will coincide with around the time of the new budget, when the tax hikes go up. And the tax hikes will increase because they won't tell you the real reason, but it's to pay for the war. Yeah, one warplane is, I think I read it was 10 million. One missile is, I think, is £10,000. Some of them are millions of pounds. One stealth bomber, Nighthawk stealth bomber plane, 8 billion, I think it costs. I was reading some of these warplanes, these fighter jets, they're between several million and billions to make them, because they're made in a special way. They can't be detected on the radar. It's a very expensive business, this war, and it is a business not to benefit humanity, but benefit the elites for oil and power. As I said, like the Roman Empire. I'm also seeing a massive escalation in war. I actually see a World War III officially breaking out around October this year. And when I say World War III, I see like full-scale NATO being involved. At the moment, it's partially World War III. It's not proper World War III, but it's like partial. I'm seeing something really big. And I'm seeing it all get sparked off by a terror attack on the Statue of Liberty in New York. I don't know if that's in October though, but October really stands out for some reason. Could be an assassination attempt as well around that time of a world leader, possibly an Iranian world leader. I see more assassinations. Those Iranian world leaders, supreme leaders, I'm seeing like one after the other assassinations, and then I'm just seeing really, really big conflict around the end of this year, October onwards. Now, royals, Harry and Meghan, I'm seeing cracks in their marriage. We've had the affair with, well, it wasn't an affair, sorry, it was naughty messages from Prince Harry to a news journalist, and he claimed that he didn't know her or he only met her once or something. So I see cracks, even though this was before him and Meghan got together. I'm just seeing generally cracks in their marriage. And I think this is kind of putting a strain on the marriage. The whole media thing with this, text messages, and I just think their marriage is really, really strained at the moment. I'm seeing for King Charles, his health will really decline. I'm seeing May, a new king. Now, I don't know if it's this May or next May, but I know it's my 44th year that it happens. I predicted this for the last 10 years, that on my 44th year, definitely the month of May, United Kingdom and Commonwealth will have a new king called King William V. I made a similar prediction with the Pope. I actually got the date of the conclave with the Pope and named him, and I got the month of the new Pope, May. With this one, I turned 44 in May this year. So it's going to be a window of, after I've turned 44 this May, I turned 44 on the 11th of May this year. I know I look very young, thank you. I always make a joke about my age and say I actually got ID'd in B&Q. No, I'm being serious. I think they ID'd me in Boots as well for ibuprofen tablets. It's so funny. But I see sort of 44, I turn 44, and then I'm also going to be 44. I'm 44 up until May 2027. So that is either this May, after the 11th onwards, or anything up from this May the 11th up until next May the 11th. So it's either this May or next May. It's nothing in between. It's a May, and there'll be a new king. Now I'm not sure if he dies or abdicates. I don't know, but I do see a coffin, obviously, at some stage. But I have a feeling he'll pass. But I do see a new king. I think they're keeping a lot of the health issues a secret. Also, that trip to the US, I see he could still do it, but then I don't know when the trip is, but he could get quite ill around the time of that trip. Maybe he doesn't do it, he does it and he gets ill, but that trip's a bad idea. And then I see Harry coming to support, for the new coronation, and then I just see Harry and Meghan divorcing. I think they'll have another child and then they'll divorce. Whether that child's their child or a surrogate, I don't know, but I see divorce. And Harry then returning to royal duties part-time, slowly. But this all kicks off after the new coronation of the King William V. That woman, what's her name, Sarah, sorry, I don't have much respect for her because I can see I see things a bit like Angela Rayner. I remember I had this, was in a cafe and someone was saying how amazing Angela Rayner was. This all the stuff came out about her, and obviously I predicted that stuff well in advance. And I was listening, and they were going, "Oh, she's going to do really well." And then I just thought, "No, she isn't. She's going to something come out, and she'll be resigning soon. She'll never get her respect back." I was right. Something with that Archbishop, what an overblown title, Archbishop Sarah Mcllally. There's something, well, already stuff's come out, but there'll be more with her. And then I don't see her stepping down though, but I think she'll be there, she'll do the coronation, but people will question, should she be doing the coronation? So there's something she hides when I look at her face. I get darkness with her. And that whoever the next one will be a man, the one after her. She's covered. I get alleged cover up of sexual abuse scandal, something we don't know about yet. There'll be an alleged cover up story, and I think it's this month to May. It's very soon. I see it on her, I see it over her. Where I can't explain when I see. Obviously, you know how I work now. I see things and then they happen. I personally wouldn't trust her. I wouldn't want a blessing off her, personally. So we'll wait and see. Now, Trump is getting angrier by the minute. I get anger management issues with him. And he's actually making his own rules, breaking other people's rules. And this is why there's so much anger and conflict within his cabinet. He's not playing by the rules, and he's changing the plan to suit him. He's changing it all the time. This is what I get when I tune in. And he's having major clashes, and I see resignations in his cabinet very soon, and I see him just getting angry with people and loads of conflicting differences in opinions, and he's making his own rules, and other people are saying, oh, he's in his cabinet. I can see people allegedly saying he's breaking the law. So in the end, they might even do what they did with Netanyahu and say, oh, he's wanted for crimes against humanity. It won't be yet, but that's what I'm seeing. Now, Netanyahu, I feel, is not alive, deceased, when I tune in, or very injured to the point where will be deceased. They use clones and doubles, remember? And yeah, it's just a mess, this war. And I'm seeing a lot of chaos in that Hormuz Strait. Explosions, helicopter crashes. You'll have to see my predictions for April. So now I wanted to talk to you about a bit of astrology. We have a Libra full moon today, Libra full moon, and 1st of April. And this is about balance and harmony and commitments and things becoming a little bit more committed with relationships, friendships. Things go to the next level. You may have noticed new friendships could come in if you're Libra, Sun or Rising. You may notice more communication this week, more harmony, praise, balance. In the world, you're going to see some very interesting peace treaties that don't last long, but you are going to see ceasefires and peace treaties. And then you've got another transit, which is big transit, Venus in Taurus, square Pluto in Aquarius. So Venus square Pluto, so that's where the peace treaties break up, and that's on the 3rd of April. So peace treaty may last a few days, and then that transit, I think, a couple of days, and then that transit, I wouldn't be surprised if you get Hormuz Strait explosions and helicopter crashes around that 3rd or 4th of April. Or major escalations in that war. Venus square Pluto. So we'll look out for that. Just to remind you about my special offer, it's the Easter treasure box reading. It's under the video for those of you that are watching. And hurry and book because it sells out within 24-48 hours. Thank you so much for watching. And we'll keep our eye on the news for what's happening next with the war. Remember, my live summit is the last Tuesday of the month, 9 p.m. British Summer Time on Substack. So it's live and it's free for you if you are a paid subscriber. The link to subscribe is under this video. Thanks for watching, and I will say bye for now.